everybody, it's Maria here from Pepperly Rose Paper Crafting. I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Sydney, Australia. Thank you for joining me. Today I'm going to be showing you a very quick haul of my latest purchases from the new annual catalogue, which came live a couple of weeks ago. I was just really slow in picking what I wanted, so I just picked just some basic items that I couldn't do without. So I'll just adjust the camera here for a second. And yes, so I thought sorry about that, and I'll just show you what I got here. So I mainly concentrated on stamp sets and only one set of dies. So I'll start off with the dies. So basically I got the Playful Alphabet dies, and I love the size. These are really like small. This might be maybe 3/4 of an inch or a bit smaller than that. And what I love about these is that, you know, when you have these arranged on here, you think, well, how am I going to put that back afterwards? Well, Stampin' Up was really good, and what they've done is that they've put like an outline of where your die is supposed to go, so you don't get mixed up as to how to position them afterwards and put them all together. So that was a really handy thing, and I'm really looking forward to using this dies because it's just such a nice font and it's a beautiful size, so I'm happy to have purchased that. I got these So Much Love stamp set. This is gorgeous, and I love the flowers on this, and it's got lovely sentiments as well, and I like the font on these as well. So I'm looking forward to using this, and this is a rubber stamp. I got Loyal Leaves. Now I love this huge leaf, and this leaf is also very similar to the Rooted in Nature stamp set, and how that has 2 leaves. Well, this is a big one. So I love the sentiments on this too. You are my hero, you're strong, you are loyal, you are true, missing you. Just love these, and I love this leaf, and I love this one as well. So I'm going to have plenty of fun using this stamp set, and this is also a cling rubber stamp. I got the Ornate Style stamp set only. I didn't get the bundle. I don't think it's a bundle anymore, but it was initially when it was first released. Anyway, I just really love this particular image and this one here, but I'm sure I can have fun using these other accents as well. And this is also a rubber stamp, so I got that one. I got this Stacked Stone, and this is one of the stamp sets we're going to be using today. I just love this. So it just looks like a wall of stacked stone. Love that look. Great for masculine cards, but I'm going to show you a feminine card with this today. This is something that I've just, have in mind. And I got the prized Peony stamp set, just the stamp set. I didn't get the dies, so I have to pace myself due to budget. But yeah, and this is just a rubber stamp as well. So I only managed to put the stickers on these 2. The rest I still have to do because I only got these late yesterday afternoon, and I've been itching to get these to start creating with them. So what we'll do to start off with is we're going to use the Stacked Stone background stamp. This is a very, very quick haul. But I hope you enjoyed it, seeing what the goodies that I got. So I'm going to take that out. I'm going to use some Whisper White cardstock today. So it's thick cardstock, half an A4, scored in half again, makes it an A6 card base. So I'm going to fold and burnish the score line. And I can use my Stamparatus, which is really handy too. So what I'll do is I'll just put it against there to make sure that it's all lined up. And then I will grab my bone folder and then just burnish that score line, so keeps it nice and even. See that? Beautiful. And then I've got a scrap piece of Whisper White, and I've also got one Whisper White again that will just go over the top, and it's about 1/4 of an inch shorter than the actual card base. And when I scored this, I didn't do it properly, so I'm going to make sure now just burnish it properly. I was a bit hasty, so I'll just burnish that much better here. But you can use your Stamparatus to do that as well. Okay, so I'll just grab my 1/4 of an inch shorter panel, and I'm going to pop it on here. And I'm going to use the stamp, Stacked Stone stamp, and I put the sticker on a bit wrong, so once it stays on it stays on, which is, there's no coming back from it, which is a shame. But anyway, I'm going to position that here. So that there. And what we're going to do is we're going to heat emboss this in white. So I'm just going to use my embossing buddy to get rid of all of the static. To make sure it clings in the right place. Okay, pop that over here. And I'm going to ink that up in Versamark. Now my Versamark ink pad needs to be re-inked, so I'm just making sure I have a really good coverage here of that ink. Now I tend to use my Stamparatus a lot because I find that I do a better job with the stamping. I'm terrible when I use my blocks. And I've got carpet tunnel in both hands, so this makes my life a lot easier. And I don't like wasting cardstock. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stamp this over. Now it doesn't have to be overly precise. If it doesn't take in certain areas, that's fine with me. But I'll just just give it as much coverage as possible. Okay. Certain places didn't take up at all, I just noticed here. So I'm going to turn this over and I'm going to start it again just to be sure. So I'll do it again. Just make that quick as possible. Okay. Make sure I really press it down. I want it to uptake, but I think there's like a gap in the middle there. It's not stamping well because of the way I put the sticker. Oh, that's much better now because I put a bit of force into it. Yes, much better. So I'll just give this stamp a clean. And then I'm going to add with white embossing powder over the top of this. I'll just take this off because I want it to be ready for my next lot of stamping. Just put it here for now. Get my white embossing powder. So I'll just pop it right over. Oh, that looks just so cool. That is the coolest. I love it. I love stamp sets like this that have just multi-uses. Great for masculine, great for feminine. You can do whatever you like with them. I love that. Like versatility. Now, certain areas didn't take up, and you know what? That's fine. I'll just make sure that I didn't miss it with the powder anyway. And it's a little bit patchy, but you know what? That adds to the look, so that's fine with me. I'll just give it a bit of a flick, and it gives it almost a distressed look as well, so that's pretty cool. Not too shabby. I like that. All right, so what I'm going to do off camera is I'm going to heat emboss it with my heat tool, and okay, so I've just finished heat embossing that, and look how beautiful that turned out. And even though certain parts didn't take up, I think it still looks great. So let's put it against the white card base, and it still looks fantastic. So I'm going to leave it as is. I think it's wonderful. I was going to initially ink blend a little bit of colour on it, but I think I think plain is best sometimes. Alright, so now what I'll do is I'll bring my scrap piece of Whisper White. Just got a little bit of powder here, excess powder, I'll get rid of. Okay, and we're going to bring the stamp set. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp this image here and this image twice, that image once, and then I'll stamp these two leaves as well. So I'll just grab all the stamps off here and I'll just... I'm going to use my Stamparatus again. This makes my life very, very easy. I love this tool. Or you can use your own stamping tool. Whatever you've got on hand is fine, perfectly fine. So let's put this now. Alrighty, so we'll stamp this, these leaves, and I'll stamp this like that, and this up further. So I'm going to use Smoky Slate for that, so just add the ink onto the stamps. Okay, wipe off any excess ink. Oops. And then let's stamp. This is such a beautiful set. Actually, when I first saw the catalogue, this was one of my first stamps that I had to have because I just think that the images are just beautiful. So elegant, just lovely. So let's see how that turned out. Gorgeous. Now, there's an area that didn't stamp properly, and I'll just press over that area there. And that's the handy thing about having a Stamparatus, is that if you didn't stamp something properly, it's not an issue. You can just go over the top of it again, and then you don't waste your materials by doing that. And that turned out spectacular. So I'll clean off these two stamps. I don't need those anymore, but I will stamp with this one again. I may or may not use it, but I'll just thought I'd cover my basis. And I'll just pop these stamps away. And so now I'm going to stamp this image here. I'll do it like... I'm only going to partially stamp this one, I think. And I might put this over here. I'll just grab another piece of paper, so just bear with me. So I've just brought now a piece of cardstock here, and I'm just going to stamp this image over here. I use up all of my scraps because I'm frugal that way. So stamp that again in Smoky Slate. Okay, gorgeous. All right, so clean this stamp, get rid of the Stamparatus. We are done with that. And I'll pop that away. Okay, now with these two stamps, with these images, I'm going to colour them in, and I'm going to be using my watercolour pencils with a blender pen, my favourite way of colouring at the moment. It's also a good way to colour too with alcohol blends. They'll be fun as well, but because I have my blender pen, I prefer to use those. But each to their own, you know, you colour with whatever makes you comfortable. I think that's the best way. All right, so now I'm just going to see which one I used. That's the one. Okay. Alright, so whatever colours I use with my watercolour pencils, they're going to be the equivalents of Stampin' Up colours. So I'm going to use colours such as, say, Mossy Meadow, which is like this dark one. Slightly darker, I'll say use this one. And then I'm going to use like a garden green. So I'd say that that would be the garden green and the Mossy Meadow there. And so I'll start off with the leaves, and then with the flowers, I'm thinking of using things like Blushing Bride and what's the other colour? Flirty Flamingo, and a little bit of So Saffron too. So we'll see how we go. So what I will do is I will lower you down, and at this point in time I will start to quicken the pace and put some music. So enjoy. Okay guys, so I've just finished colouring the image in. I'll just blend out a couple of bits and pieces here I didn't do properly, just very quickly off camera. So basically what I've done is I've combined Mossy Meadow for the dark accents and garden green. And for the flower, I used like a Blushing Bride equivalent along with like a Rococo Rose. And I'm just blending all of that through just to make sure there's no harsh lines. I want it to look like it's flowing. So that's what I'm just doing now, is I'm just blending over any harsh looking lines. I want it to look more seamless rather than it looking, oh, there's a line and, you know, just doesn't look as nice. So that's what I'm doing here now. And that's it with the colouring. So what I'm going to do off camera is I'm going to cut these out. So I'll just zoom you back out again. I'm going to cut these out off camera. Now, you can use your scissors, you can use a machine, you can use your dies. I'm going to use my Silhouette Cameo, so I'm going to do that off camera, and when I come back I'll have these taken off the mat, and then I will show you, put the card together very quickly. All right, so just bear with me and I'll be back shortly. I've just finished cutting all of these out, and they turned out absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to bring in my card base, and I'm going to stick on the panel. Now I'm just going to have a look and see how I would like to arrange this before I stick anything down. Might put that there, put that here. Not sure if that's the way I want it, or do I want just these two with some leaves like that and like that. No, I'm going to have that, I think. And have a couple more. I'll have, I think, this one like this, like that, and like that. And I'll add some of the leaves in between, like that, maybe. And then I'll put this one, let's say, over here, like that. Or underneath, actually. Give it a bit more green down there. I'll just see how that looks. Yeah, I think that looks okay to me. Let's see. I might put this leaf up like that. That looks a bit funny, doesn't it? I'll put that here instead. Let's see. And like that. Anyway, I'm just having a little think as to how I want these. Put that over here like that, maybe. Yeah, I think I'll use that. So what I'll do is I'll pick these bits and pieces up. Okay, I'll stick this down first off. It's amazing. I have had quite a vision in my head, and it hasn't exactly turned out the way I wanted it, but at the same time I don't mind this one too much either. So let me know your thoughts, if you like this or not. It's actually quite pretty. Now I'm not sure if I should just have this on its own, and then we could add like a sentiment underneath that and just keep it really simple. Let's see. We could do it like this and add more of these like that, and I think that would look really pretty as well, like that and like that. And we can add some more leaves this way. And can add them down here. Just a bit more greenery down here. I actually like this version. I think this is a good version. So what I'll do is I will pop this up a little bit higher. Don't want to cover everything I've done. So I'll pop a little bit of glue just on the end there. And then we're going to pop this up on dimensionals in one piece. So what I'll do is, whilst it's here, I'll just do that. Okay, and then I'll put a little bit of glue just here under these bits, like that. And then with the flower here, I'll just put a little bit of glue just around there and here. And with this here, I'll just add a tiny bit of glue just on the edge there. And I'll pop that in like that. And I think that turned out lovely. So what I'm going to do now is turn all of that over, and I'm going to, actually there's a little bit here that didn't trim out so very well, so I'll just take that off. Okay, so I'm just going to pop these up on dimensionals. Alrighty, so now I've just taken off all of the backings, and what I'm going to do now is just stick this on here. Just make sure that it all fits in. And that is my finished card for today. If you're interested in buying what you've seen today, which is the prized Peony and the Stacked Stone stamp sets, please don't hesitate to visit my online store. I would really would appreciate your business, and it's at pepperlyrosepapercrafting.stampinup.net. If you have any questions or you'd like some assistance with anything, please don't hesitate to contact me using the Contact Me section of my online store. I will have the address up here and also in the links below this video. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial, and I hope to see you again next time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.